Shalom. Before I begin this video, first and foremost, I'm going to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, and double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that continually rule very well. And Shalom to the hopeful elect that is also continually pushing forth this word, this ministry, this gospel to the other members of the hopeful elect in all faith, true sincerity. Now, the topic of this video is going to be concerning the topic of adultery. Now, in the scriptures and the law, it plainly says that if you lie down with another man's woman, then that's known as that's adultery, and that's on the physical level. Now, on the spiritual, you can also commit adultery as well, man. That's something that we mention, as far as us coming to the truth, because we all, committed adultery, not only physically, but also spiritually. All right, it's on both levels, because before we came into the truth, we was dealing with whatever religious practice, if you want to call it that. We were dealing with different religious practices and things of that nature, which really that's adultery in itself, man. Because for the ones of you that came out of the church, those are the brothers that came into the truth, that came out of the church. You already know that all they do is worship Cesare Borgia, right? Which is that's the image that was put up by the so-called white man, which is his true biblical nationality is Esau. All right, so that's what we were brought up. For most of us, we were brought up in the church. Praising and worshiping this who they generally call Jesus, right? This guy Cesare Borgia. And then we came into the truth, realizing that that's not really him, man. Really, the God of the Bible is completely contrary to what they worship in these churches. Now, there's other religious practices that other Akim was a part of, like Rastafarianism. Maybe they were, some of them probably was in the Muslim. We never know, because that's the old man that we used to be. So we really, we're not concerned with that. Now we're concerned with what's in front of us, which is this truth, and trying to bring forth these scriptures and break them down and to teach the other members of the hopeful elect. All right. So I want to bring out a quick precept concerning this topic. This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 6, verse 32. It says, "But whoso committeth adultery with a woman lacketh understanding. He that doeth it destroyeth his own soul." So, back then, we lacked that just completely tells you that we lacked understanding back then, man. All right, because we were committing adultery with spiritual adultery. We was committing spiritual adultery, Slakia. We was committing spiritual adultery against Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai, and we lacked understanding. All right, and see, now that we come back to Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai, because there's another scripture that speaks about us being brought back to Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. See, now that we brought back to Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai, now we've been given the understanding. All right, and not just any old understanding like the wisdom of this world, but we were given understanding of the scriptures and what's to come. All right, and it said, "He that doeth it destroyeth his own soul." So we were destroying our own soul by doing that, man. Because why is that? Because all these other philosophies and ideas and religions, all they do is lead to death. All right, because there's only one way to the kingdom of the Most High, man, and that's through Yahweh Shai, which is the scriptures. Because there's Psalm chapter 40 and Hebrews chapter 10, man. It says, "For lo, I come in the volume of the book, and it is written of me." All right, so if you're not coming through the way of Yahweh Shai, then you're basically leading, or you're walking towards the end game, which is death. All right, you're walking the path of death and destruction. All right, that's why Yahweh Shai says, "Look, I'm the way, the truth, and the light." All right, and if anybody else come up some other way, then the same as a thief and a robber. Okay. Now there's a scripture in Jeremiah. I'm gonna have to do a word search on it. I don't remember specifically where it is. Let's see. That's like you. Let me bring it up. Bear with me for 1 second. All right. Now here's right here. This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 3, verse 1. They say, if a man put away his wife, and she go from him, and become another man's, shall he return unto her again? All right. And see, that's what the Lord did, man. He put us away. Why did he put us away? Because we were going off. We was pretty much worshiping these other gods, these idols. All right. Back in our past, what our forefathers did back then. All right. They were going against Yahweh Bashim Shai by worshiping these different other gods that weren't really gods. All right. And see, now we're in this lifetime, we're paying for it now. All right. And it says, and she go from him and become another man's, and the other man is representation of another philosophy or another religion. All right. It says, shall he return unto her again? All right. And the answer is yes. All right. But the whole nation of Israel is not going to come back to Yahweh Bashim Shai. All right. The husband. All right. The first husband, should I say. The original husband, for lack of a better term. It says, shall he return unto her again? All right. And it says, shall not that land be greatly polluted? And that's true. The land is greatly polluted. And that's not talking about the land of Israel. All right. That's talking about the people. All right. Because once again, the Lord looks at the nation of Israel as a comely and delicate woman, which is in the same book, Jeremiah, where it speaks about that. The Lord looks at Israel as a comely and delicate woman. Right. And the thing about the woman is that even that goes on the day where it speaks about, oh, that's my woman, that's my earth, because a man plants a seed within a woman, and that woman gives birth to a child. All right. Same thing when you plant a seed in the ground. All right. When you plant a seed in the ground, and then it brings forth fruit. Same thing with how the woman bear children. The man plants the seed within the woman, and the woman bears fruit, which is the child. All right. So that's why it says, shall not that land be greatly polluted? All right. Why does it speak about being polluted? Because we went off and committed adultery with another, these other gods and these idols. All right. And it says, but thou hast played the harlot with many lovers. All right. It was the same back then when Israel was going off and following these different other practices. And it's the same today, man. 2/3 of our people are still going off and worshiping, or should I say, doing these different heathenistic practices and worshiping different gods. All right, especially in the churches, man, or these so-called churches that you got today, man. All right, they're worshiping another god, which is that's the god of Esau. All right, in which, all in all, man, Esau puts himself as a god. All right, I'll put it to you like that. Now, here's the point. It says, but it's like it. Yet return again to me, saith Yahweh Bashim Shai. So the Lord is saying, look, even though our forefathers went off, he said, look, return unto me again, thus said Yahweh Bashim Shai. So the Lord is calling us back, and we're gonna come back through the marriage, which is the marriage is with Yahweh Bashim Shai, and that marriage is when the election, the 144,000, is delivered out of destruction. All right, that's delivered from the coming destruction. That's the marriage. All right, that's when the kingdom of Yahweh Bashim Shai is established. Okay. So it's, once again, man, what I said at the beginning of the video is not only on the physical level, but it's also on the spiritual level. All right. And that's why, we constantly give thanks and praise to Yahweh Shem Shai that He's even, bringing us back towards Him, man. Starting with the election. All right, because the Most High dealt with Israel, and I'll give you an example. When they went off and worship, when they threatened Aaron, when it was coming out of Egypt, they threatened Aaron. When Moses was up on the mount, they threatened him to make a golden calf so they can worship it, man. All right, and the Lord saw that, and He told Moses, said, I'm gonna go ahead and destroy this people, and I'm gonna make you a nation. All right, and Moses stood before Yahweh Shem Shai and begged him not to do it, and he brought the remembrance of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob and the promises that was given through that line, and Yahweh Shem Shai held himself back from destroying the nation of Israel. All right, and see, now the Lord is done with He's done with, basically there's a scripture where it says even though Moses and Samuel stood before him, yet the mind of Yahweh Shem Shai couldn't be toward this people, which is talking about Israel. That's why He's only dealing with a certain number, the remnant of the nation of Israel. He's not dealing with the nation of Israel as a whole. There's a thing as a physical Israel, and there's a thing as the spiritual Israel, which is the Israel of the Most High, which starts with the elect once again. All right. So that just pretty much brings more understanding to the subject concerning adultery. Even though we have physical adultery, which that's one of the main laws that you can keep, man. I mean, because we had people that actually committed adultery, man, and we saw these guys that's one of the easiest laws that you can keep, man, because we keep the laws and commandments, the ones that we can keep in reverence to Yahweh Shem Shai. And we see these guys when committing adultery, like Zabak. All right, we had another guy that committed adultery, Mahar Rakar. All right, that guy. Now, I think he's with Comfy, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, man, we had guys like that committed adultery, right? And like I said before, that's one of the easiest laws that you can keep, man. All right. Same thing with now, man. All right. With scripture where it says, ye shall have no other gods before me. All right, that ties in with not committing adultery. All right, because if you have another god before Yahweh Shem Shai, then guess what? That ties right into adultery. All right. So once again, man, like I said before, that just brings more understanding to that topic, and Lord willing, I can edify with this video. Till next time, once again, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Shem Shai. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that continually rule very well. And peace and safety to the hopeful elect that is constantly doing His work, giving it 110%, man, seeking the Lord 10 times more. And with that, I'm going to say shalom.